There are people in your life who come to test your character, and God has given you the ability to discern them. The reality is that not everyone who enters your life has a positive impact. Some people come with an agenda, others bring distractions, and some simply want to hold you back. But God, in His wisdom, gives you signs, warnings about the types of people who can hinder your destiny. The first type of person is the energy drainers. These are individuals who leave you feeling tired, mentally exhausted, and spiritually drained. They don't add to your life, they take away. You give them your time, but they never give you anything in return. Beware of those who are constantly pulling from your energy without ever refueling you. Then there are the dream crushers. These people don't believe in the vision God has placed in you. They try to dismiss your dreams, downplay your goals, and tell you what you can't do. They will always point out the obstacles, but never see the potential. Be careful with these people because their lack of faith will only stifle your progress. Another type is the gossipers. These individuals speak negatively about others behind their backs. If they talk about others, they will talk about you. They thrive on spreading rumors, lies, and negativity. They bring division into every relationship and every community. God warns you to stay away from them because where gossip thrives, peace and unity cannot exist. The manipulators are also a dangerous type. They will use guilt, emotional blackmail, or any means to control you. They're skilled at turning situations to their advantage and making you feel responsible for their happiness. Manipulation is a form of control that leaves you powerless. Be vigilant in recognizing these individuals, for they will use your kindness against you. Then there are the users. They come into your life with a purpose, but it's not for your benefit. They only want what they can take from you, whether it's your time, money, or influence. They have no interest in helping you grow, but only in using you to get ahead. God warns you not to invest in relationships where the balance is never mutual. The liars are also people God warns you about. These are individuals who fabricate stories to cover their own faults or manipulate situations for their gain. Lies breed distrust, and when trust is broken, relationships crumble. Protect your integrity by staying away from those who live in falsehood. The doubters are people who will never believe in the promises of God for your life. Even when you walk in faith, they'll try to make you second guess yourself. They'll doubt your capabilities, your vision, and the plans God has for you. Be wary of those who refuse to see what God has already revealed to you. The self-centered individuals also demand your attention. They're always the center of every conversation, every decision, and every situation. Everything revolves around them, and your needs and desires are ignored. God wants you to avoid people who can only focus on their own interests and are blind to the needs of others. There are also the fake supporters. They act like they are on your side, but their actions speak otherwise. They will smile in your face and act as if they're cheering you on, but behind your back, they're either indifferent or even rooting for your downfall. Recognize the difference between those who genuinely support you and those who are only pretending for their own benefit. Lastly, the toxic people are those who bring negativity into every area of your life. They have nothing positive to offer. They complain, criticize, and condemn everything. No matter how much you try to help them, they always seem to bring you down. God warns you to protect yourself from people whose very presence contaminates your peace. God is not only giving you warnings about these people, but He's also equipping you with the wisdom to discern them. His voice is there, guiding you to avoid these destructive influences in your life. When you recognize these types of people, you must make the choice to protect your spirit, your destiny, and your purpose. The journey ahead is too important to allow the wrong people to pull you off course. Trust in God's ability to reveal who should stay in your life and who should go. Let Him direct you to the relationships that will elevate you, not the ones that will drag you down. There are individuals who enter your life, and instead of uplifting you, they drain the very energy that fuels your potential. These are the energy drainers, people who, when you engage with them, leave you feeling mentally fatigued, emotionally depleted, and spiritually exhausted. It's as if every time you give them a part of yourself, whether it's your time, your attention, or your care, they take it and never replenish what they've taken. These people do not add value to your life, they only subtract from it. Energy drainers are skilled at manipulating your time and emotional resources. They may come to you with their problems, and while you empathize and give of yourself to help them, they never offer you the same support in return. It's a one-sided relationship. You find yourself giving and giving, yet no matter how much you offer, they always leave you feeling empty, without any real exchange of positivity or growth. When you're with them, it seems as though you can never get enough rest. They leave you feeling as if there's no space left for your own thoughts, dreams, or vision. They consume your emotional bandwidth with their complaints, their negativity, or their endless need for attention. You may try to help them, but the cycle repeats itself. You offer advice, lend your ear, or even invest your resources, but it never feels like enough because they take it without ever giving back in a meaningful way. They take, and when you look up, you realize that you have given everything, yet you are no closer to the person you were meant to become. God warns you about energy drainers because they have the power to hinder your destiny. They will drain your enthusiasm, your joy, and your passion. Over time, if you allow these individuals to remain in your life unchecked, they will sap your will to grow, to achieve, and to pursue your purpose. They are like leeches, quietly draining your life force until you are left with nothing. This kind of relationship is dangerous because it slowly erodes your inner strength. When you continually engage with people who drain you, you begin to question yourself, your value, and your dreams. It's hard to focus on your own goals when you are constantly weighed down by the emotional baggage of someone else. You may start to feel as though you are stuck in a cycle, constantly putting out fires for others without ever having the energy or motivation to tend to your own growth. But here's the truth: God created you with a purpose. He placed unique gifts, talents, and dreams inside of you. You have a calling that demands your attention, your time, and your energy. You cannot afford to allow people who only take from you to keep you from becoming who God destined you to be. You must recognize the signs of energy drainers and distance yourself from them. God will give you the discernment to see when someone is pulling from you without ever offering anything in return. The moment you see that pattern, you must make the decision to protect your energy and your peace. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who encourage you, and who replenish your spirit. Find those who share your vision and who inspire you to reach new heights. These are the relationships that add value, that strengthen you, and that push you toward your purpose. When you invest your energy in relationships that are mutually supportive, you will find that your life begins to overflow with positivity, peace, and growth. But you must be intentional about cutting ties with those who drain you. God is calling you to a higher level, and you cannot get there by surrounding yourself with people who continuously deplete your spirit. Recognize the energy drainers and make the choice to preserve your strength for the journey ahead. Your destiny is too great to be held back by those who offer nothing but exhaustion. Stay focused on your path and let God direct you to the relationships that will empower you, not the ones that will wear you down. There are people in your life who, when you share your dreams, vision, or ambitions, will respond with doubt, disbelief, and even discouragement. These are the dream crushers, individuals who do not see the potential in your life or the greatness that God has placed within you. Instead of encouraging you to pursue your passions and aspirations, they focus on the challenges, the limitations, and all the reasons why your dreams cannot come to fruition. When you share your vision with them, they don't celebrate it, they minimize it, dismiss it, or even try to convince you that it's unrealistic. Dream crushers come in many forms. They may be friends, family, or even colleagues. And though they may not mean to harm you, their inability to see beyond their own limitations can negatively impact your ability to believe in yourself. They are often the first to tell you what you can't do, where you'll fail, and why you should settle for mediocrity. They see the obstacles instead of the opportunities, and they often make you question whether your dreams are worth pursuing. These are the voices that cloud your mind with doubts and fears, making it harder to stay focused on what God has called you to do. What you need to understand is that these dream crushers are not the ones who will carry your vision forward. They cannot see what God has already revealed to you because their vision is limited by their own fear, insecurity, or lack of faith. They will try to convince you that your dreams are too big, too bold, or too audacious. But in truth, these individuals are projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. They are speaking from a place of their own unfulfilled dreams and unresolved struggles. They may have once had dreams of their own, but they were too afraid to pursue them. And now they are trying to protect you from what they see as inevitable failure. But hear me when I say this, your dreams are not meant to fit into their small, fearful world. God has given you a vision that is bigger than any of their doubts. When God plants a dream in your heart, it is not for someone else to define or limit. His plans for you are far greater than you can even imagine. Dream crushers fail to see the bigger picture. They fail to understand that God works in ways that defy human logic. What might seem impossible to them is entirely possible with God. Dream crushers also come in the form of people who have settled in their own lives. They have chosen comfort over risk, security over faith, and they no longer believe in the power of pursuing a purpose-driven life. They will tell you to be practical, to play it safe, and to think about the risks. While they may believe they are offering you wise counsel, what they are actually doing is stifling the potential that God has placed within you. God does not call us to live small, safe lives. He calls us to take bold steps of faith, to move beyond our comfort zones, and to trust Him even when we can't see the entire path. You must be careful not to allow these voices to drown out the calling that God has placed in your life. You cannot allow someone else's doubts to become your own. You have to guard your dreams, protect your vision, and continue moving forward even when others do not believe in you. When you encounter dream crushers, you must learn to walk in faith, even when they cannot walk with you. You must surround yourself with people who encourage your vision, who inspire you to keep going, and who believe in your potential. God's plans for you are not shaped by the limitations of others. He has designed your life with a unique purpose, and He is calling you to step into it. Do not allow dream crushers to steal your joy, to block your progress, or to convince you that your dreams are not worth pursuing. You have been given a divine calling, and it is up to you to protect it from those who cannot see what God has placed before you. When you encounter these people, pray for wisdom to discern their influence in your life and move forward in the confidence that God has already prepared a way for you, regardless of what others may say. Your dreams are valid, your vision is real, and God is with you every step of the way. Don't let the dream crushers steal your hope. Instead, use their doubts as motivation to prove that with God, all things are possible. There are individuals who, instead of lifting others up, take pleasure in tearing others down. These are the gossipers, people who thrive on talking behind others' backs, spreading negativity and sowing discord wherever they go. Gossipers feed on the drama, the secrets, and the personal details that they have no right to know, and they use that information as a weapon. These people love to talk about others in ways that create division, misunderstanding, and mistrust. Their words carry poison, and once they begin, they leave behind a trail of hurt and confusion. What makes gossip so dangerous is its ability to distort the truth. The gossiper will often twist facts, exaggerate stories, and embellish details to make the narrative more sensational. They prey on the weaknesses of others, using personal information to make them appear vulnerable or weak. The intention is rarely to help, it's to undermine, destroy reputations, and tear down those who are not present to defend themselves. Gossip is not just a harmless conversation, it's a destructive force that can ruin relationships, tarnish reputations, and poison the very atmosphere of trust that is vital to any healthy relationship. As you pursue your dreams and work toward fulfilling your purpose, you will encounter these types of individuals who take pleasure in seeing others fall. They may spread rumors about you, twist your words, or tell lies about your character in an attempt to discredit you. Their goal is not to build you up, but to bring you down. Gossip can easily spread like wildfire, and before you know it, it can damage your credibility, your relationships, and even your reputation in the eyes of people who have never even met you. These are the voices that distract, distort, and distort your focus, making you second guess who you really are and what you are truly capable of accomplishing. The gossiper's words have the power to destroy your peace. When people around you believe the rumors being spread, you can feel isolated, misunderstood, and vulnerable. Gossip has a way of chipping away at your confidence, making you question whether the relationships you have are genuine or if they are based on distorted truths. It creates an atmosphere of mistrust where everyone becomes a suspect and no one is truly safe from the toxic influence of malicious words. And the worst part is, the gossiper doesn't care about the damage they've caused. They continue on their path, spreading more lies, enjoying the chaos they create. But here's the truth you must hold onto: God did not create you to be the subject of anyone's gossip. Your life, your purpose, and your future are not determined by the malicious words of others. When someone speaks ill of you or spreads rumors about you, it's important to recognize that they are only speaking from their own brokenness. Gossip is not about you, it's about them. The gossiper has a deep need for validation, power, or control, and they use your name to feel important. They are feeding their own insecurities by making others look bad. And while they may momentarily feel better about themselves, they are only setting themselves up for greater consequences. God has called you to walk in integrity, truth, and peace. When you are the target of gossip, you must remain focused on your purpose and not be distracted by the negative voices of others. You don't need to defend yourself against gossipers. Your character, your actions, and your faith speak louder than any lie that is spread about you. Trust that God is your protector and He will expose the truth in due time. Let your focus remain on the work He has called you to do and leave the consequences of gossip to Him. Do not waste your energy trying to prove yourself to those who have no interest in truth. Instead, keep your head high, keep moving forward, and know that God's justice will always prevail. In the end, the gossiper may think they've won, but the truth is that God is in control. He sees the harm they are causing, and He will bring to light everything that has been hidden. You must trust that He is your defense and your vindicator. Don't let the noise of gossip drown out your purpose. Stay focused on what matters most: your relationship with God, your growth, and your journey toward fulfilling the destiny He has set before you. Let God deal with the gossiper, and in the meantime, keep walking in integrity and truth. There are those in your life who, instead of encouraging you to strive for greatness, will try to hold you back and keep you stuck in your comfort zone. These are the comfort zone keepers, people who, whether consciously or unconsciously, are afraid of seeing you step into your full potential because it challenges their own sense of security. These individuals are often well-meaning, but their fear of change or progress leads them to offer advice that keeps you from growing, from stepping out, and from pushing past your limits. They are afraid of the unknown, and in their attempt to protect you from the uncertainties of life, they inadvertently confine you to a life of mediocrity. Comfort zone keepers will tell you things like, don't take risks or be careful, it's not worth it. They will often discourage you from taking bold steps or pursuing dreams that seem too big or too risky. Instead of celebrating your vision for the future, they will attempt to pull you back into the safety of the familiar. They will remind you of the dangers and risks associated with change, and in doing so, they make you question whether you should really step out of your comfort zone at all. These people, while they may love you and want what's best for you, are often trapped by their own fears, and they project that fear onto you. They want to protect you from failure, but in doing so, they prevent you from ever achieving success. The comfort zone keeper doesn't realize that in trying to protect you from potential failure, they are also protecting you from growth. Growth only happens when we stretch beyond what we already know, when we step into discomfort, and when we challenge ourselves to go after what seems impossible. If we remain within the boundaries of the familiar, we will never experience the breakthroughs or the growth that God has planned for us. These people fail to see that risk is part of the process of success. They don't understand that every great achievement, every great victory comes with an element of risk. They don't realize that success is not just about playing it safe, it's about taking courageous steps, even when the outcome is uncertain. God has called you to a life of faith, and faith requires action. It's easy to stay where things feel comfortable, where there's no risk, and where everything is predictable. But you cannot fulfill your purpose if you are unwilling to step into the unknown. The comfort zone keeper cannot understand this because they are focused on avoiding failure. But God is focused on your growth and on your ability to trust Him, even when the way forward is unclear. When you take a step of faith, you're not stepping into the unknown alone. You're stepping into the hands of a God who has already prepared a way for you. When you constantly listen to the advice of comfort zone keepers, you may begin to believe that staying comfortable is the only way to live. You might feel that you don't need to challenge yourself or take risks because their voices of caution drown out the whispers of your true calling. They will tell you that your dreams are too big, too risky, and not worth the struggle. But what you must understand is that their fears are not yours to carry. God has placed a unique vision inside of you, and that vision cannot be realized if you refuse to step into the unknown. You cannot experience the fullness of what God has for you if you keep holding yourself back. The comfort zone keeper may also try to make you feel guilty for pursuing something that challenges the status quo. They might say, why do you need to change? You have everything you need here. But what they fail to see is that growth is the essence of life. Every plant, every tree, every living thing has a natural inclination to grow and expand. If you don't grow, you will wither. And that is not what God wants for you. God has placed greatness within you, and greatness requires movement, change, and risk. It requires you to step beyond the boundaries that the comfort zone keepers have tried to set for you. You have been called to a life of impact, a life that is marked by courage, boldness, and faith. Your destiny is too great to be confined by the fears of others. As you move forward in the direction that God is leading you, you will inevitably encounter those who are stuck in their own fears and limitations. You must recognize them for what they are, comfort zone keepers, and understand that their fears are not a reflection of your potential. They may mean well, but their advice is keeping you from the life that God has designed for you. When you face these people, you must be steadfast in your commitment to move forward. Be loving, but also be firm. Don't let their fears control your actions. Trust God's plan for your life and take the steps that will lead you toward your destiny. Know that every time you step outside your comfort zone, you are growing, and every time you take a leap of faith, you are walking closer to the purpose that God has placed within you. Another group of people you will encounter are those who are often self-serving and focus only on what they can gain from others. These individuals are manipulators driven by their own desires and interests, using others as stepping stones to advance their own agendas. They do not see relationships as mutual or reciprocal, but rather as transactions that benefit them. They come into your life with charm and promises, but their true goal is always to extract something from you, whether it's your time, energy, resources, or influence. They are constantly evaluating what they can gain from you, and when they no longer see value in the exchange, they will either distance themselves or move on to the next person they can exploit. These self-serving individuals often appear to be caring and invested, but their underlying motive is self-interest. They know how to play the part of a friend, partner, or ally when it suits them, but their kindness is always conditional. Their focus is not on the well-being of others, but on what they can take from those around them. They ask for help when they need it, but they are rarely willing to offer help in return. They make promises, but those promises are often empty, serving only to keep you engaged long enough for them to get what they want. These are the people who can drain your resources without ever truly giving anything back, leaving you feeling exhausted, used, and unappreciated. One of the most difficult aspects of dealing with self-serving people is that they often have an innate ability to manipulate emotions and create guilt. They know how to appeal to your sense of compassion, empathy, and loyalty, making you feel as though it's your responsibility to help them, even when it's to your detriment. They know exactly how to push your buttons to make you feel obligated to do more, give more, and sacrifice more, all while never reciprocating that effort. They play on your sense of duty and kindness, exploiting your good nature until you begin to feel as though you are the one who is selfish or unkind for not offering more. In their pursuit of personal gain, they will not hesitate to deceive, lie, or manipulate the truth. They are skilled in presenting themselves in the best light, creating an image that fits whatever narrative they need to tell in order to get ahead. They know how to make you believe that they are trustworthy and deserving of your resources, time, and attention. They are excellent at creating an illusion of sincerity, making you believe that their interest in you is genuine, when in fact they're only using you as a means to an end. Once they have achieved their objective, they will discard you as easily as they once drew you in. Self-serving individuals will also do everything in their power to avoid accountability. When things go wrong or their behavior comes to light, they will shift the blame onto someone else. They will deflect responsibility, always seeking to protect their own image while leaving others to deal with the fallout of their actions. Their refusal to take ownership of their mistakes only further exposes their true nature. They are not interested in building honest, meaningful connections or in growing together with others. Their focus is solely on their own gain, and they will use any means necessary to preserve their own position, even at the expense of others. In your journey, you must learn to recognize these self-serving individuals before they have a chance to exploit your time and energy. Their presence in your life can be like a parasite, draining you slowly until you are left with nothing. But the key to dealing with them is not to become bitter or cynical. You must recognize that their behavior is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a result of their own insecurities and selfishness. They are not operating from a place of love or mutual respect, and their actions should not define your value or worth. God has not called you to be a doormat for anyone. You are not meant to be used for the benefit of others, and your time, energy, and resources are too valuable to be squandered on relationships that only serve to deplete you. In recognizing these self-serving people, you must establish boundaries that protect your peace, your purpose, and your resources. Protect your time and your energy by being mindful of who you allow into your inner circle. Understand that not everyone who seeks your help or your time is doing so out of a pure desire to see you succeed. Sometimes people are simply looking for what they can take, not what they can give. When you encounter these self-serving individuals, remember that your value is not found in their opinion of you, nor is your worth dependent on what they can take from you. Your worth comes from God, and He has called you to live a life of purpose, not one defined by exploitation and manipulation. Be discerning in your relationships and learn to recognize when someone is more interested in what they can take than in what they can contribute. You don't need to feel guilty for setting boundaries with these individuals, because setting boundaries is a reflection of your self-respect and your desire to honor your own purpose. There are also people in your life who can be incredibly draining because they are energy vampires, individuals who, rather than uplifting you, seek to deplete your emotional, mental, and physical strength. These are the people who, whenever they enter a room, the atmosphere changes, their presence is overwhelming, and their needs seem endless. They will pull from you constantly, leaving you feeling exhausted, depleted, and as if you have given all that you have, but received little in return. They never seem to be satisfied. No matter how much you give, how much time you invest, or how much energy you devote, they always need more. These people may be friends, family members, or even colleagues, and they have an incredible ability to make everything about themselves. The energy vampire is a master of draining your emotional reserves, often without even realizing it. They do not give back in the same way they take. They consume your attention, your emotions, your support, and often leave you feeling empty. They may come to you with endless complaints, negative thoughts, and problems that never seem to resolve. They are constantly in a state of crisis, pulling you into their drama and making you feel responsible for solving their issues. These individuals don't just need help, they need it all the time. And yet, when the roles are reversed, they are nowhere to be found. They are the ones who take up all your time, but never offer you the same support when you need it. They'll take your joy, your peace, and your motivation, leaving you feeling tired, discouraged, and frustrated. They may tell you their problems over and over, rehashing the same issues without ever seeking real solutions. What's worse is that in doing so, they create a toxic environment where the focus is always on their challenges. Their lives are always centered around their pain, their struggles, their problems. They don't just tell you what's going wrong, they make you feel as though it's your duty to fix it. You might find yourself walking on eggshells around them, always anticipating their next complaint or emotional outburst. It becomes a vicious cycle. The more you give, the more they take, and the less energy you have for yourself or others who might need you. You can't help but notice that their negativity begins to rub off on you. You begin to feel their weight, their constant need for validation, and their endless demands. They seem unable to find peace or happiness, no matter how much you try to encourage them, no matter how much you try to lift their spirits, no matter what you do, they keep draining you. Their constant focus on negativity, their inability to find joy in the blessings around them, and their refusal to seek help beyond your support starts to affect your own mindset. You begin to question your own ability to handle your challenges because you're too busy carrying theirs. Energy vampires often do not see the toll they are taking on others. They are often caught up in their own self-pity or distress to the point that they cannot perceive the negative impact they have on those around them. They might ask for your help, but when you offer solutions, they reject them, continuing to focus on their own pain. They don't seem to have the emotional maturity to move beyond their circumstances, and instead they dwell in their misery, dragging others down with them. It becomes clear that no amount of encouragement, advice, or love can lift them out of their own cycle of despair. At some point, you may even begin to feel guilty for needing a break from them. You might feel as though you are being unkind by setting boundaries or taking time for yourself. But it's important to recognize that God does not call us to be endlessly drained by others. He calls us to love, to support, but he also calls us to protect our own energy. Our responsibility is not to carry the burdens of others if it means compromising our own health and well-being. We must set boundaries to protect ourselves from people who are constantly pulling from us without ever replenishing us. It is not selfish to care for your own spirit. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for an energy vampire is to protect your own energy and not allow them to drain you. These individuals may leave you feeling guilty for not being able to do enough for them. But you must remember that you are not called to be a never-ending well of support for someone who refuses to help themselves. You can only give so much. God has called us to be wise stewards of our time and our energy. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly giving to someone who never reciprocates, you will eventually burn out. And when you burn out, you are no good to anyone, including yourself. In your relationships, you must recognize the importance of maintaining a healthy balance. You cannot allow anyone to drain you to the point that you lose your joy, your peace, or your purpose. Sometimes loving someone means telling them the truth, setting boundaries, and walking away when necessary. It is not always easy, but it is necessary for your well-being and for your growth. You cannot let the energy vampires in your life pull you into their negativity or consume your resources, because that will only leave you weaker and unable to fulfill your God-given purpose. Recognize that these energy vampires will try to manipulate your emotions, making you feel as though you are being unkind or selfish by not helping them. But the truth is, if you give too much of yourself to someone who is not willing to change or grow, you are doing them a disservice as well. God has a plan for you, and that plan requires energy, focus, and purpose. Do not allow anyone to take away the energy you need to fulfill that purpose. It is your responsibility to guard your peace, protect your spirit, and be intentional about the relationships you allow to influence your life. You must also understand that energy vampires often feed off of attention, drama, and chaos. The moment you stop engaging with their emotional roller coaster, the moment you stop allowing them to drag you into their negativity, they will seek someone else to latch onto. And that is okay. God will provide the right people who will uplift you and bring life to your spirit. Keep your focus on those who inspire you, support you, and help you grow. You are called to live with purpose, and you cannot afford to waste your precious energy on those who are unwilling to change and grow. There are also those people in your life who will be dream killers, individuals who, rather than encouraging you to pursue your goals and aspirations, seek to dim your vision and discourage you from reaching your full potential. These people often come in the form of friends, family members, or even colleagues, and they are the ones who consciously or unconsciously try to put out the fire of your dreams. They may not always be overtly hostile, but their words and actions can have a devastating impact on your motivation, your confidence, and your belief in your own ability to achieve greatness. They will be the ones who tell you that your dreams are too big, too unrealistic, or simply not possible. They will be the ones who attempt to convince you that your vision for your life is too far out of reach, that you should lower your expectations and settle for less. A dream killer is often someone who operates out of their own fear and insecurity. They may have experienced failure in their own lives, and rather than pushing through it, they allowed it to define them. Instead of learning from their setbacks, they chose to adopt a mindset that limits their possibilities, and now they want to project that same mindset onto you. They will tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and that it's better to play it safe. They will convince you that staying in your comfort zone is the wisest path, all while subtly undermining your potential and your drive to step into something greater. These individuals often do not want to see you succeed because your success will remind them of their own shortcomings and their failure to live up to their potential. They want to keep you where they are, stagnant and fearful, because that's a reflection of the life they've chosen for themselves. They may try to subtly undermine your progress by planting seeds of doubt. Are you sure this is a good idea? Maybe you should wait until the timing is better. Have you thought about the risks? They won't say it outright, but their words are designed to make you second guess yourself and question your dreams. They will find a way to turn every positive step you take into a potential pitfall, every success into a reason for caution. What makes the dream killer particularly dangerous is the subtlety with which they operate. These people may appear to be looking out for your best interests. They may even claim to care about you deeply, but in reality, they are only serving to limit your vision. They disguise their criticism as concern, their doubts as protective advice, and their limiting beliefs as practical wisdom. But in truth, they are not truly concerned about your well-being or your potential. They are simply afraid of what your success will mean for their own lives. One of the most insidious tactics of a dream killer is their ability to create confusion and uncertainty in your mind. They are experts at planting seeds of doubt, making you question whether you're on the right path, whether your ideas are worth pursuing, and whether you're capable of achieving your goals. These people will feed into your insecurities, amplifying your fear of failure and making you feel as though you're not good enough to succeed. In doing so, they cripple your confidence and prevent you from taking the bold steps necessary to bring your dreams to fruition. In some cases, dream killers can even disguise themselves as well-meaning supporters. They may express their concerns in the form of advice, often suggesting that you lower your expectations, take a safer route, or settle for something less. They'll tell you things like, maybe you should focus on something more practical, or that's too risky for someone like you. What they are really saying is that they don't believe you are capable of achieving your dreams, and they want to see you settle into a life of mediocrity just like them. They may claim to have your best interests at heart, but in truth, they are projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. It's essential to recognize the impact that these dream killers can have on your life. They can have a profound effect on your mindset and your belief in yourself. The more you allow their negativity and doubts to seep into your consciousness, the more you risk losing sight of your vision. The longer you entertain their limiting beliefs, the more you may begin to question your own abilities and the feasibility of your dreams. That is why it is so important to protect your mind and your vision from the negative influence of these people. Their role in your life should not be to dictate the course of your journey, but rather to serve as a reminder of why you must remain focused on your goals. The best way to deal with dream killers is to distance yourself from their negativity and establish clear boundaries. Recognize that their doubts do not define your potential. Their inability to see your vision doesn't mean that your vision isn't valid. Their limitations are not your limitations. You must be determined not to let anyone dictate the size of your dreams. Do not allow the voices of fear and doubt to drown out the voice of your calling and your purpose. If someone tries to put a cap on your potential, you need to protect your vision by distancing yourself from that person's influence. The truth is that when you are pursuing your dreams, there will always be people who will doubt you, who will criticize your efforts, and who will try to tear you down. But these people are not a reflection of your abilities or your potential. They are simply a reflection of their own fears and limitations. You must recognize that their opinions are irrelevant when it comes to your destiny. Only you and God know the true potential inside of you. Only you and God can see the vision He has placed in your heart, and it is up to you to pursue it, regardless of the negativity you encounter along the way. When you are committed to your dreams, you will have to make hard choices about who you allow to speak into your life. You cannot afford to let anyone who doesn't believe in your potential influence your decisions. God has given you a purpose, and no one has the power to take that from you unless you allow them to. Surround yourself with those who will uplift and encourage you, those who will push you to dream bigger, work harder, and achieve more. The right people in your life will fuel your ambition, not stifle it. They will celebrate your victories and challenge you to rise to your highest potential, not try to bring you down to their level of fear and mediocrity. Remember, God has equipped you with everything you need to accomplish His plan for your life. When you encounter dream killers, be firm in your resolve. You are not called to live in fear or to play small. You are called to live boldly, to pursue greatness, and to fulfill the destiny that God has designed for you. Stay focused on your dreams and do not allow anyone to steal the vision that God has placed in your heart. Keep pressing forward, because the dreams God has given you are worth fighting for, and He will provide the strength and the resources you need to see them through. There will always be people who, when they see you advancing in life, will do everything in their power to undermine your success. These individuals are not necessarily bad people, but they are often driven by envy, jealousy, or insecurity. They may try to sabotage your efforts, whether it's through subtle criticism, backhanded compliments, or even outright attempts to discredit your achievements. Their motive is simple: they cannot stand the idea of someone else achieving what they themselves have not been able to achieve. This kind of behavior can be deeply hurtful, because it often comes from those closest to you, friends, family, or colleagues, who at one time may have supported you but now feel threatened by your success. When you start succeeding, especially if it's a success they either desire or once dreamed of for themselves, they may begin to subtly attack your efforts. It is not necessarily about your success per se, but the reflection of their own feelings of inadequacy or failure that your progress brings up. They can't bear to see you achieve something they feel they haven't. Often they will diminish the value of your accomplishments, pointing out the small details or criticizing the way you achieve them. They might say things like, "Oh, that's great, but anyone could do that," or "You just got lucky." They want to make your victory seem smaller than it really is. In their eyes, if they can devalue your success, it somehow makes them feel better about their own shortcomings. People who undermine your success often feel threatened by the progress you are making, because deep down they know that your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. They are people who may have once walked beside you, sharing similar dreams, only to give up or become complacent along the way. When they see you stepping into your calling, achieving your dreams, and fulfilling your potential, it highlights their own failure to move forward. So instead of celebrating you, they react by trying to pull you back down, using whatever means necessary, be it gossip, jealousy, or even trying to make you doubt your own ability to succeed. The deeper issue here is not that these people are actively trying to harm you, it's that they are trapped in their own mindset of comparison. They do not see your success as a testament to hard work, perseverance, or divine favor. Instead, they see it as a reminder of their own limitations. They feel as though if you succeed, it somehow exposes their inability to do the same. And so rather than elevating their own lives to match yours, they seek to bring yours down to their level. This could be through direct criticism, trying to invalidate your hard work, or in more subtle ways like making you feel guilty for succeeding. "Don't forget where you came from," they might say, or "You're forgetting your roots now that you've made it." These remarks are not encouragements. They are often veiled attempts to make you feel small so they can regain a sense of control over their own situation. When you're on the path to success, you must recognize that not everyone around you will be thrilled with your progress. Some will celebrate you genuinely, but others will show signs of resentment, and that's when you need to be discerning. The person who undermines your success may disguise their negativity as concern, but in reality, their agenda is to diminish your achievements. They may criticize your methods, belittle your ideas, or even try to make you feel guilty for pursuing your dreams. Who do you think you are, trying to achieve so much they'll ask? This is an indication that they're not interested in supporting you, but rather in holding you back to avoid facing their own fears and insecurities. In such moments, you must learn to tune out their voices, understanding that their criticism has nothing to do with your value or your worth. Their attacks are simply a reflection of their own internal struggles. But here's the key: their feelings are not yours to carry. You must resist the urge to internalize their negativity. You must refuse to let their attempts to undermine you derail your purpose and your mission. Your success is not about pleasing others or making them feel comfortable with your journey. It is about fulfilling the purpose that God has given you and using your gifts to impact the world. God has given you a vision, and with that vision comes a unique responsibility to pursue it. When you start to rise, there will be people who feel left behind, and they will try to pull you down to their level of complacency. You must stay focused on your path and remember that your journey is between you and God, not you and anyone else. You cannot allow other people's fears, insecurities, or judgments to stop you from pursuing the life that God has called you to. You cannot allow the opinions of others, especially those who seek to undermine your progress, to sway you from your course. Instead, you must hold fast to your vision, knowing that the challenges and criticisms you face are just temporary obstacles meant to test your resolve. The key to overcoming these people is confidence in your own worth and purpose. Recognize that your success does not diminish them, and it doesn't mean that their dreams are invalid. Just because you've achieved something they haven't doesn't mean you are better than them. But it does mean you have answered the call to greatness, and they are simply not in a position to understand your journey. Understand that some people will never support you, not because they don't want to, but because they don't have the capacity to. They may not have the vision, the faith, or the understanding to see your potential. But that's not your problem. Your job is to stay the course, to rise above their petty criticisms, and to continue walking in the purpose God has set before you. If you are serious about reaching your full potential, you must learn to protect your energy and your mindset from the negative influence of those who seek to undermine your success. The enemy often uses people close to you to try to throw you off course. These people, however, are not your enemies. They are simply vessels of doubt and fear. You must learn to recognize the influence for what it is and refuse to let it sway you from your path. Your success is not dependent on their approval or validation. It is between you and God, and with His guidance, you will continue to rise. Keep your eyes fixed on your goals, keep your heart focused on your purpose, and keep moving forward, knowing that your success is a testimony to your faith, your resilience, and your dedication to the work God has called you to do. There are certain people who come into your life solely to distract you from your purpose. These individuals may not have malicious intent, but they are not aligned with your vision, your values, or your God-given purpose. They come into your world with a lot of noise, trying to get your attention, pulling you away from your goals and from what you've been called to do. They are masters of distraction, keeping you occupied with trivial matters, drama, or constant chatter. They may come as friends, family members, or colleagues, and they often come with good intentions. They want to spend time with you, they want to talk, or they want to involve you in their problems. However, their presence in your life can be a major hindrance if you're not discerning enough to see the pattern. These people have a knack for getting you off track. They talk about things that seem urgent or important, but in reality, they add little value to your life. They keep you busy with issues that have no long-term impact on your purpose or growth. Every time you try to focus on what God has called you to do, they seem to find a way to pull you away, making you think that their distractions are just as important as your mission. They'll call you with problems that are not yours to solve, or present opportunities that seem good in the moment but ultimately distract you from your divine assignment. You find yourself answering their calls, participating in their activities, or dealing with their crises, all while your own dreams and goals sit on the back burner. It's important to understand that these distractions don't always look like obvious temptations or bad influences. Often they come dressed up as harmless social engagements or routine activities. They are not calling you into sin or unethical behavior, but they are robbing you of precious time and energy that should be spent on the work God has called you to. For example, you may find yourself spending hours engaging in conversations that lead nowhere, conversations that are interesting in the moment but ultimately waste your time. Or you may find yourself constantly being pulled into other people's drama or conflicts, losing sight of the big picture. The enemy does not always come to you in obvious forms of temptation. Sometimes he uses the good things in life, the things that don't seem harmful at first, to sidetrack you from your calling. This is why you must be careful about the people you allow into your inner circle. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay, and not every conversation you have is going to move you forward. While it's important to be compassionate and kind, you must also protect your time, energy, and focus. God has given you a specific assignment, a unique purpose, and your success depends on your ability to stay on track. Distractions may look innocent at first, but they gradually shift your focus away from what really matters. These distractions may seem harmless, inviting you to events, asking for your opinion on trivial matters, or pulling you into unnecessary arguments, but they are all ways the enemy uses to break your concentration and keep you from fulfilling your divine destiny. If you're not careful, these distractions can evolve into significant setbacks in your life. You may look back one day and realize that years have passed and you spend more time responding to others' issues than focusing on the work God has assigned to you. You may have spent hours engaging in fruitless discussions, yet your own vision and goals have been pushed to the side. These distractions drain your energy, your resources, and your time, leaving you exhausted and unfulfilled.